Hello, BSmart viewers. Welcome back to another engaging episode of Manager's Mantra, where we connect with industry leaders who are shaping the future of business management. Today, we are excited to have Ankita Patwa, Environmental Manager, Foxconn System, and founder, TheGreenSolve, an innovative platform dedicated to simplify carbon accounting and environmental, social, and governance compliance for businesses. With more than 7 years of experience in the automotive industry, Ankita's specialties include standardization of manufacturing processes, GHG accounting, and ESG strategy. A master's degree in environmental health from the Illinois Institute of Technology has equipped her with a strong foundation to drive sustainability initiatives in the sector. So, without waiting further, let's jump right into this insightful discussion. Hi, Ankita. A very good morning from India, and welcome to this new session of Managers Mantra. We are really glad to have you today, and I'm sure that our viewers will just love this session.
Hi, Abhishek. Thank you for having me on the show.
Let us just start discussing the questions. We are,
Sure.
living at a time when there's a great, everyone is talking about climate tech. Everyone is talking about climate tech solutions and how can we probably, look out at possible solutions to tackle the climate crisis, the climate change. EV industry is often viewed as a climate solution, but then what are the some of the overlooked sustainability challenges within the EV value chain, like say for example, energy sourcing or battery production?
I think you've rightly mentioned so. EV is a climate solution or can be a climate solution, but that is possible only if we decarbonize on what powers them and how we make them. Basically, how we generate the batteries that are used in EVs and how are we charging the batteries. I think these are the two blind spots that we currently have. Is the electricity carbon intensity is basically dependent on the charging of fossil fuel heavy grids. This shifts all the emissions upstream. And the second is the battery supply chain impacts that includes mining, refining, energy intensive cell manufacturing. I think the solution that actually works is not on vehicular level, which means that not on a battery pack level, but these are system level controls, meaning OEMs and tier one suppliers need to lock in like renewable power for battery manufacturing through long-term purchase power agreements. They can push the suppliers to disclose, this pushes basically the suppliers to disclose their energy mixes on the process level and not just basically like an annual average that they do in their reporting. That we were 20% in the year of 2024, we used renewable energy. So this, you can see floor level, plant level, manufacturing level impact when energies are disclosed and mixed at a process level from a renewable source point. I think the second is a mandate on recycled content for recycled content threshold for cathode and anode materials. This is on the chemistry of the lithium-ion battery or the cells that are used in manufacturing, which on the grid side, the smaller charging timed to the time of use and renewable energy availability reduces the life cycle emissions. So when I say small timed time of use charging, it basically means that currently our electricity, and you probably know this, right? That it works on we get the electricity based on less peak hours. So basically, the charging happens at night when the electricity cost is low. So if we can supply the renewable energy, meaning solar or wind energy, directly to the grid during the peak hours, this automatically reduces your life cycle emissions both on the upstream side and actually you can see practical, measurable, and consistent deliverable changes on the climate change from an EV industry perspective.
Ankita, you have huge amount of experience in this space. So from your experience, how can India's EV ecosystem contribute meaningfully to the country's net zero ambitions?
That's a great question. And I think we have very ambitious targets. India has very ambitious 2050 net zero targets. And I think India's EV opportunity lies in treating electrification as a system transformation, renewable domestic manufacturing, and battery circularity all working combinedly and together. And in this, what would work is if we can prioritize co-location of EV manufacturing with renewable energy, specifically like for assembly plants and component plant manufacturing. I think that's one of your viable solution. battery recycling must move beyond the pilot projects into scaled and regulated operations. This will enhance the traceability of recovered materials that are put back into supply chain. So we have processes that can, and the GreenSolve works with companies that have battery recycling projects. These battery recycling plants can help you recover up to 98% of the material back, which can be put back into your domestic supply chain for manufacturing of cells, manufacturing of batteries. And this automatically reduces your cost of manufacturing, reduces the cost of your raw material, reduces the cost of the consumer amount that the consumer would pay for buying an EV. So this also, I think the one more important thing is clear enforcement of like EPRs, which is extended producer responsibility, coupled with incentives for recycled content use. This will reduce like import dependence and emissions simultaneously. This approach basically would help India align with their ambitious net zero targets.
Carbon accounting becomes an integral part of the discussion when you talk about, climate tech solutions today. So, how is carbon accounting becoming a part of businesses today? And do you see carbon credits as a viable mechanism for the EV sector?
This is a brilliant question. I feel like the carbon market is a budding market. It's very new. Still in their early phases, which I was just mentioning about the EPRs. There's new APRs coming for India's policies for carbon credits, and I think carbon accounting is now shifting from just reporting to operational decision making. This is what we've been using, and what this is what GreenSoft does to help industries also is to make carbon accounting from a reporting perspective to an operational decision making. Carbon credits play an important role, but only as a residual, but only for like residual emissions and not as a substitution for reduction. So, what I'm trying to say is companies should integrate carbon accounting into capital approval, supplier selection, process change management, and not basically just use it as an ESG reporting tool. Projects should be evaluated using emissions per unit metrics alongside cost throughput. For credits only, the projects with like third-party verification, conservative baselines, transparent retirement. Ideally, these are tied to value chain relevance, basically like energy, material, water. When these credits are used correctly, they can de-risk the transition periods without undermining the credibility. So in GreenSolve we help companies do that. Is basically help them with transparency in reporting, so there is no double accounting, and then you're avoiding greenwashing as well. This improves better transparency and credibility for carbon market.
We often talk about the future of manufacturing, the future of product design. How do you see the concept of circular economy shaping the future of manufacturing and product design?
Circularity is becoming like a design requirement, is no longer an option. It's becoming a design requirement. It's driven by regulation, cost pressures, supply chain risk, and not just like sustainability narratives. It's not because it looks good. Now it's becoming like a design requirement. So I think the future would be the strongest results for us to see the future for circularity will come from design for disassembly, standardized materials, and like earlier supplier engagement. Manufacturers that embed recyclability and repairability at the design stage, reduce downstream compliance and future material volatility. Now, digital material passport and like internal life cycle data tracking are the practical tools that can be used to support audit, recalls, recycling contracts. So, long story short, circularity will succeed when it is engineered and not retrofitted.
Ankita, we are probably living at an age where technology changes, every day. Every now and then you're probably seeing a new company, you're probably seeing a new product. So with this rapid technological change, how can the EV industry maintain sustainability standards without slowing on the innovation part? Because at the same time, while you are considering sustainability, you are at the same time to be competitive in the market, to beat the race, you need to be innovative. But then how do you maintain sustainability standards without compromising on the innovation part?
So I think this comes back to engineering. basically, so standardized measurement and automation prevent sustainability from becoming a bottleneck. So what you're trying to say is innovation sometimes leads to a bottleneck, but if system controls are made and system level changes are made for standardized measurement of engineering changes or plant level changes, automation and or standardized changes in like automation prevents sustainability from becoming that bottleneck. And what actually works is the EV industry must embed sustainability into engineering gates, not just like post-launch reporting. So this means like clear emission baselines for new materials, standardized supplier disclosures, digital evidence, and trails that scale with production. Even when sustainability criteria are predefined and automated, innovation accelerates because team then now spends less time debating on the quality of data and makes informed decisions. So when you are systemizing and automating your data, you're setting up clear baselines. This helps you analyze your cost, but then also ensures that your sustainability reforms are giving you some actual changes, and they're not just becoming narratives.
Ankita, now that we have started speaking about sustainability, let us also hear from you about what is required to sustain in the sustainability roles. Because a lot of young leaders today, a lot of the young MBAs crafted in the B schools, they want to join the sustainability roles. They're getting very curious to join this kind of roles, but we know that they require both technical and strategic thinking. What skills in particular do you believe our future leaders in this space should, have to stay and to come out with flying colors?
This is a wonderful question. I get asked on LinkedIn and through my personal network so many times that, we're so much interested in sustainability. Where should we start? We want to learn more, but I think there's not a standardized format. When I studied environmental engineering, there were namely even in US, there were hardly few schools that had environmental as engineering and not just environmental studies. So I think this is a great question. So ideally, if you can do environmental engineering, it helps you get a clear baseline in terms of how engineering relates to environmental requirements and what's their correlation. But I think not just leaders, I think everybody on a mass level needs, future leaders need like carbon literacy in general. Carbon literacy meaning understanding what emissions means, understanding what life cycle of a product means, understanding what upstream and downstream emission, and most importantly, this understanding would come from when you know what are the impacts from it. And I think the public, all of us are on a daily level, we're seeing the impact in extreme it is. You're talking about, you look at Delhi, the AQI, it is a potential impact of all the activities that have caused to that. So this basic carbon literacy, I think, is a general need. But for future leaders that actually want to make an impact and want to make a change, I think first is mass level carbon literacy, operational executional skills, meaning having the ability to translate sustainability into financial and risk language. Basically, leaders can develop hands-on experience with like ISO-based management systems. So this is 14,001, 14,064 for more on the carbon market side. Um, Doing internal audits, process KPIs, and not just sticking to strategy decks. And I think this, from a industry perspective, starts from upper leadership. So understanding how the data is generated at the shop floor, how it fails into audit, this is the most critical part. And equally important is to learn to avoid or basically learning to quantify avoided cost. What is an avoided cost is basically penalties. Penalties is always something that you would want to avoid. So you're making changes in your process flow early on. So penalties, energy volatility, which can be improved through PPAs, supply disruption, customer loss. Sustainability leaders who can defend numbers under scrutiny will outperform those who only communicate a vision.
Ankita, we are probably, I'm sure you'll also agree that, we are living probably at a time when we are seeing a lot of startups being built. Today, young leaders going fresh out of the colleges, uh, they are very bold and brave to, without even having a prior experience, they are not hesitating to build their own startups rather than joining corporates. Uh,
Yeah.
how can these young professionals, especially the B school graduates I'm talking about, they contribute to building more sustainable business models in manufacturing or mobility sectors rather than just focusing on profitability? Because we understand that, the Gen Z probably they want to achieve success very quickly, but at the same time, how can they contribute to building more sustainable businesses?
I think that this is a great question, and I love how you put it that we all want everything done like quickly. So sustain, and I hate to correct you here, but sustainability does not happen overnight. So uh you're not going to be sustainable overnight. Like you can be profitable in 3 months. You're seeing startups that are being profitable in 3 months, 6 months, and doing billions and billions of dollars in millions and millions of dollars in revenue. That does not happen in sustainability overnight. But it scales your impact eventually. So down the line, 3 years, 5 years, you're going to see potential results through your operational changes. So I think the biggest impact happens when emission reduction and cost reduction intersect. So young professionals on the startups should basically focus on execution heavy roles, meaning energy management is the most critical aspect for any sustainability, because everything that we do requires electricity. So strong energy management, strong supplier programs, operational analytics, process improvement, and from a skill set perspective that you can implement on the floor level, would be using lean, Six Sigma, operation finance tools, cutting waste, improving yields, reducing energy intensity. These will help you deliver immediate credibility. So I think when you say what can be done overnight, like, how do they achieve sustainability faster? I think using lean in your processes, using Six Sigma, using some certain operational finance tool, cutting your waste, improving your yield, this will show you immediate credible results. Sustainability initiatives that gain traction when sustainability initiatives gain traction when they show payback within the standard business timelines, not special like ESG expectations.
Thank you so much, Ankita. With that, we come to the end of the conversation, and I am really thankful to you for taking out time and joining us. And I'm sure that the B schoolers and other viewers of us, they will find this session really really fruitful for them, and a lot of learning they will take away from this session. We would love to stay in touch with you and have you again in any of our future interactions. Thank you so much.
It was great talking to you, Abhishek. Thank you so much for having me here.
That's a wrap on this episode of Manager's Mantra. Thank you, Ankita, for sharing your insights on the EV ecosystem in India, sustainability challenges, and future of manufacturing. Be Smart viewers, we hope you found this conversation helpful. Share your thoughts with us at bsmart.edit@bsml.in. Follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram for more such insightful and inspiring content. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.